create a autocomplete text field. What do I mean by that? Autocomplete, we can text field. Below our what do I mean by that? List of places. Below our so if I type m list of places, you will see. So if I type m, only the places you will see which has the keyword, only the places or the which has letter m keyword or the click on it, letter m in the same data is getting filled over the same data is getting filled over the. This is what we are going to see in this video. So here this is what we are going to see in this video. So here we are going to use jQuery and PHP MySQL. We are not going to concentrate much on PHP MySQL, CSS and HTML. We are not going to concentrate much on the CSS composition of this tutorial is the composition of this tutorial 30% PHP MySQL, 40% PHP MySQL, 40% jQuery, and the remaining 30% is jQuery, and the remaining 30% is AJAX. The part AJAX we are going to see is the repetitive part which we have already seen. The repetitive part which we have already seen. Let me show you 10 to 15 times HTML. Let me show you database structure. How does our HTML or database structure looks like? We have a country database name called test, and the table country is simply contest, and the table country table has and some rows in country table has column. Some rows in first one is the primary key which is ID. We don't first one is give primary key which is ID. Focus on this. We don't need to give column. We need to focus on our 100% on this column name. We need to give our 100% on this places in it, approximately 10. It has if you want you can fill places in it, approximately as many much you want. You can fill just for convenience as many much you want. 10 values. Just for convenience, fine. I just used this 10 all values. 10 values. Fine. Is what we are going to see. All 10 values is what we are going to see in this. So if I enter space and enter, so if I enter space and enter all the, you will see all the list. Fine list. Let me show you what fine HTML do we have. What HTML do we have? In the HTML we simply have a bootstrap container. Inside the container we have simply have a bootstrap column. Inside the container we have used row for TextBox, column which is 40% width for TextBox and 40% width for submit button. Fine. The submit button thing which you need to be noticing, the thing which you have need to be noticing div to display the result, have used which has an ID div to display the result, and I have used jQuery CDN display, and I have so that I can use my jQuery script, so that I can use my jQuery script syntax on this jQuery page syntax. So it is necessary to load page CDN, or so else it is necessary to load will not CDN work, or else your jQuery code will not work. External script before your script. Fine. External script. I hope we have gone through what HTML we have looks like. Through now let me remove HTML jQuery and looks start like from scratch. Now let me remove all the jQuery and start for from the jQuery. Fine. Our jQuery need to load only after loading our jQuery need to load only after confirm this loading all our HTML element. To confirm this we would be writing the syntax document dot ready. When the document element is ready, just ready. When the document element is ready, just execute this function. Will simply fetch this function will simply fetch in our document we just have one input field, so I'm just using the HTML in our document we just have one input field, so I'm just using the HTML element value. So choose the element value. Choose the element value only when you choose the element value only on when you up on the input field. So when you key up field, I want the value so when you key of the input field, I want the value of the input field to be retrieved and stored in a variable called BAL. Stored in a variable called BAL. So to check, I will be alerting it. So to check, I will be alerting it the keyword. Save it, refresh it, save it. If you type anything, refresh it on the text box. It will be type anything on the text box. It will be displayed on the alert. So we have alerted our, we don't need this, we want the value to be, now we don't need send this, we want the value to be PHP file send using to AJAX. So for that PHP file using AJAX. So for that $.AJAX. So we would be writing URL, so where we want to send our writing URL data, where we want to send our method data, and that method, and then the data we would be sending, and then the data we would be sending, it would have this syntax, and this the data type, and the data type. Finally, when the data is received, finally, and after some manipulation received, it will send, and after some manipulation, it will send output can be retrieved from the send output can be retrieved from the success function parameter, and the success function, the result and would be stored, the result ID would be which I have stored showed you on the HTML, which I have showed you on the HTML display .ht and pass the data over here, and pass the data. Before that, over here I want, before that the div I want to show up, for that the div to show in, for that fade. Fine. Now fine, the function now, sorry, the URL, the file function you would be sending the data, the URL or the file fetch. You would be sending the data .php fetch. The method is PHP post. The method is, and the data is post will be stored, and the data is will be stored query in the, and the data we are going to send variable query, and the data we are going to send is data type is simply the text. The text Java AJAX data type is ready. The text. Now it's time to Java AJAX get it ready. Now it's time to get into the PHP code. So for that PHP code. So for that select in database, in W3 database, W3 scope PHP select so it will lead you to the page, it will lead you to the page of W3 school, of where W3 school, where you will be getting your ready-made code for fetching data from database. Your ready-made code for fetching data from database. Scroll down a bit. Going to look on the video version. On the we are going to look on the video version. We are going to look on the MySQL procedural version. In order to run this code, in order to require run know the database name, you would require to know the database name, the table name, which I have already shown you in the previous, which I have already shown you in the previous starting, or in the starting. So I have replaced it. So server name would be localhost. I have replaced it. The server name would be localhost, and username would be root, and username would password is also root, and the password is also root. Database is test, and the database is test. Let me remove some. I'm going to remove some unwanted code. Remove some connection is not required. Unwanted code. We know our connection is not required. We know our connection will be working fine. So select working everything. Fine. So select everything from the database country, the database where, country, name where, like name, like $, which should be inside $, single quotes, which should be inside single quotes, and we will be passing or post, and we will be passing underscore or post underscore, and the data we would be sending is, and the data we would be sending is query. Fine, query. Now fine. Now have a variable called have your UL and on and while running the loop, your output will append the value dot equal to, so it would be li. The row would be simply the name, not the ID, and close the li and remove all the unnecessary part. So if everything is fine, now echo the output. Let's see. We have not used any bootstrap classes. I think I have to remove the alert box on the jQuery. I have already removed. Refresh it. Hard refresh it. Control Shift tab. Now if you type M, I think we have missed the angle breeze. Yep. On key up, showed all the value. If you want, have to look for the bootstrap list class. For UL and for LI, each will be having one class. That class would be simply available on school. We are just going to copy paste it, and our the remaining part is when I click on the list item, I want data to be filled on the text field. That is really very simple part. Before you paste, make sure you have single quotes, not the double quotes. Just place it for li. Now it's time for the jQuery part. Yep. Click on it. I want the data to be populated. For that, get into the script. Before your document is closed, you have to choose the document. Inside the document, you'll be using the function method on. So when I click on li, I want this function to get the value of the list. This dot text, and this value should be sent as the value for input. Refresh it. Let's check. M. Place this line of code instead of and paste it instead of, so in place of div it would be, so in place of document it would be inside the current document, choose the li. When I click on it document, choose the li. I want, when I click on it, the value of the li, I want the value of the li to be inserted as the value for input. To be inserted as the value. Refresh it, input. If I type m, if I type m, the reason was very silly. I have used this. The reason was very silly. Quotes. I have used this. Should have used on this without quotes, so that our code should have worked this without quotes, so that our code on would have worked by using on function. Alright, that's fine. We have got a new function delegate in this tutorial. That's fine. We have got a new function delegate. Thank you so much for this tutorial. Get the source code in the description. Thank you so much for listening.